Unit 1. Listening. You will hear people talking in 6 different situations. For questions 1 to 6, choose the best answer, A, B or C. 1. You hear 2 men talking. When is it the best time for the man to go to Belize? A. Between November and May. B. Between June and October. C. In February.
So, I heard that you went to Belize a few months ago. How was it?
It was absolutely wonderful. I went in February, which is the high tourist season, so there were a lot of people. But I did so many things. I went scuba diving in the coral reefs, I went sightseeing in the area, and I even slept in the National Zoo on a special overnight tour.
Wow! It sounds amazing. I will definitely plan on going, but not in February like you when all the tourists go. Do you know when would be a good time?
Well, November to May is the high tourist season, so avoid going then.
2. You hear a man talking. Why do most tourists go to Lake Plastira? A. To hike in the surrounding area. B. To go canoeing. C. To enjoy the view.
Lake Plastira in Thessaly, Greece, is an artificial lake that was created in 1960. It is 14 kilometers long and 65 meters deep. It is ideal for exciting getaways and especially attractive to those who appreciate the great outdoors. Canoeing, which brings the majority of tourists to the lake, offers visitors the chance to enjoy a different view of the surrounding area. There is no set level of difficulty, since the distance and intensity can be chosen according to each person's physical condition. You can go to the lake's islets, where you can even leave your canoe, and explore them on foot.
Three. You hear a man talking. Who can stay in the lounge? A. British Airways passengers with children. B. All British Airways passengers. C. Business and first-class passengers of British Airways.
As of March 2008, British Airways premium passengers enjoy the extreme comfort of 6 new lounges at Heathrow Airport. The luxury lounge complex can hold up to 2,500 people. It is open to all business and first-class passengers. The lounges include a boardroom, ensuite bedrooms and even a spa. The lounges also offer complete office facilities with internet connection and numerous computers and printers. Business travellers will particularly appreciate the news zone, where all the major British newspapers and magazines can be found. For young travellers, there is even a children's room with 2 plasma screens and a PlayStation.
4. You hear a woman talking about the Airbus A380. What is she doing when she speaks? A. Encouraging people to travel on the Airbus A380. B. Giving information about the Airbus A380. C. Discussing the positive and negative features of the Airbus A380.
The Airbus A380 is the newest and most modern aeroplane on the market. This double-deck aeroplane can carry up to 853 passengers. It features 10 seats per row in economy class and 6 seats per row in business class. First-class cabins are also available. Offices with computer rooms and internet access are also located on the upper deck. Most importantly, these new planes are also environmentally friendly, as they produce less carbon dioxide than most planes and consume less fuel. So far, almost 200 Airbus A380s have been ordered by various airlines. Soon, these luxury planes will be taking off and landing at all major airports around the world.
5. You hear two men talking. Which of the following is most likely to happen? A. They will travel around Europe together. B. They will visit the same countries in Europe. C. They will both buy a Eurail ticket in the future.
Have you heard of Eurail?
Of course. It's a system that offers passes for train travel throughout Europe. My cousin and I bought a 1-month ticket last summer and travelled to Portugal and Spain. It was absolutely wonderful. I'm going to do it again next summer.
I'm going to buy a 3-month ticket and travel around Europe with my brother. We want to stop in different countries like Spain, France and Italy. I've always liked travelling by train, and I can't think of a better way to see Europe.
6. You hear a man talking on the radio. Who would the information he is giving interest most? A. People living in Geneva. B. People travelling to Geneva. C. Geography and art teachers.
Geneva is definitely Switzerland's most cosmopolitan city. It is built next to a lake of the same name, where you can see the famous Jet d'Eau fountain. The old city is proud of its unique landmarks. There are many museums, such as the Art and History Museum and the Natural History Museum. If you are in a shopping mood, Geneva is known for its watches, its chocolates, and many more. Also, Geneva is known for its famous restaurants. You must not leave without trying the delicious Swiss cheese fondue at the Café du Soleil.
Unit 2.
You will hear a conversation between a teenager who has just come out of the London dungeon and a man who is writing a report on London's tourist attractions. Which of the following are discussed?
Hello, excuse me. My name is Alan Wells, and I am writing a report on London's best tourist attractions. I see you've just come out of the London dungeon. Could I just ask you a few questions about your visit? It won't take long.
Yes, okay. Why not?
Thank you very much. First of all, a few details. How old are you?
17.
Did you go into the dungeon on your own, or did you go in a group?
I went in with my brother and 2 other friends of mine. We're all here on holiday together.
Okay, great. So, had you heard about the London dungeon before this visit?
Well, my uncle told me about it and said we really should come.
How long did your visit last?
Well, we were probably in there for nearly 2 hours altogether. But when I was inside, I had no idea really. You get moved on from room to room with your group. But I never felt like I was being rushed through.
How did you enjoy your visit?
Oh, it was fantastic. It was really scary, but very funny at the same time.
Can you describe what you enjoyed most about it?
Well, I didn't really know what to expect. So when we arrived, we were a bit surprised that there was a huge queue of people waiting to get in. That was one part I didn't like.
How long did you have to wait?
It must have been about 45 minutes. But it wasn't too bad, I suppose. Other people told me that they had waited much longer. I suppose it depends on the time of year. Well, anyway, once we got in, it was just amazing. Inside it is really dark, even before you get to the ticket counter, which makes it really scary.
What did you do inside the dungeon?
Well, the whole dungeon was divided up into different rooms, and in each place there were guys dressed up in costume, just as they would have been dressed in the past. They told us a lot about the history of London and the way people lived then.
Such as?
Well, in one room they told us about the Great Plague. It was an illness which spread through London and killed lots of people. It was brought in by rats, and they even had live rats in there. Yeah. They told us about the Great Fire of London, which actually killed all the rats which had brought the illness in. So it was educational too.
And what else was there to do?
Well, there were rides and people jumping out at you, trying to scare you. And they really did scare us. We were screaming like little kids, but it was great fun too.
Would you say it is suitable for young children?
No way. They actually say at the entrance that they strongly advise against taking small children in. I think it is perfect for teenagers and adults, as long as you're not too nervous.
So, would you recommend the London Dungeon to others?
Oh yes, absolutely. It was quite expensive to get in, but it was definitely worth it. It was fantastic.
Great. Well, thanks very much for your time.
My pleasure. Bye.
Bye.
You'll hear 5 different people talking about why they visited or moved to a particular place. Choose from the list A to F the statement that best describes each speaker's experience. Use the letters only once. There is one extra letter which you do not need to use. Speaker 1.
I'd always wanted to visit Australia, and when my friend Brad, who lives in Sydney, invited me to his wedding, I accepted the invitation immediately. I arrived in Sydney about a week before the wedding and spent as much time as possible taking in the sights. I really liked the Sydney Aquarium. There's a glass chamber in the aquarium that allows visitors to get a close look at some incredible sea creatures, including sharks. All in all, my holiday was wonderful and I really enjoyed Brad's wedding. My only regret is that I never got to see a kangaroo.
Speaker 2.
When I received a letter informing me that I'd been accepted into the New York Academy of Art, I was absolutely thrilled. Still, as excited as I was also a little nervous about leaving home and moving to a new place all by myself. My first day in New York was overwhelming. It's a fast-paced city and it can be quite a challenge keeping up. It took me a few months to settle in, and there were times when I felt quite homesick. Now I'm thoroughly enjoying my studies, and I've just had a painting in an exhibition at the college. Who knows, maybe one day you'll see my work in an art gallery. Now wouldn't that be something?
Speaker 3.
I'd been working as an archaeologist for about a year when I heard that Professor Harold Jones, a world-famous scientist, was putting together a team of experts to help him search for a lost city in Mexico. It had always been my dream to work with Professor Jones, so I immediately handed in my resignation and booked a ticket to Mexico. My plan was to convince the professor to let me be part of his team, even though I wasn't very experienced. Luckily, the professor was quite impressed with my CV and decided to give me a job. I've been in Mexico for 6 months now. It's been a wonderful learning experience for me, and I'm really grateful for the opportunity.
Speaker 4.
I'm a writer and I had been struggling to come up with a suitable ending for my latest book. So my publisher suggested that I go away for a while. I decided to rent a small cabin near Lake Winston, which is about a 2-hour drive from the town where I live. I spent most of my time at the lake swimming, fishing and admiring the glorious sunsets. The scenery was so beautiful that I took as many photos as I could. I must say, the experience definitely stimulated my creativity and, by the time I returned home, I had thought of a brilliant ending for my book. Funnily enough, when my publisher saw the photos that I had taken, he told me he wanted to include them in a book on outdoor adventures. I had no idea I was such a skilled photographer.
Speaker 5.
I've been working as an accountant for about 10 years, and I have to admit that adding and subtracting numbers all day long can get a little boring. Last summer, I decided it was time for an adventure. So I took a month off and went to stay with my cousin at his farm. I've always loved animals and was thrilled when my cousin agreed to let me help him with some of the chores. I was even allowed to milk the cows. Being so close to nature was wonderful, and there were moments during my holiday when I could clearly imagine myself giving up my job in the city and moving to the country. Maybe one day.
Module 1. Roundup. You will hear people talking in 7 different situations. For questions 1 to 7, choose the best answer, A, B or C. 1. You hear a man talking about an experience he had a few years ago. What does he describe? A. Driving his car in a snowstorm. B. A coach trip in winter. C. A taxi ride up a mountain.
It was in 1998 when I was living in Greece teaching English. It was a cold, wet February afternoon. I was being driven from the town of Volos to a village perched high on the slopes of Mount Pelion. Once past the drab outskirts of the town, the road began to climb steeply. The rain soon turned to sleet and then to snow. From the warmth of the inside of the cab, I peered out into what now was a blinding white snow-covered landscape. The long and winding road continued onwards and upwards into what seemed to be a blizzard. I could now see no further than an arm's length from the window. The driver had reduced the speed of the car to a mere crawl. He slapped the steering wheel with his hand and shouted out loud,
Good grief, James. I can't believe it. This is not my backpack.
What do you mean it's not yours? Whose is it then?
It's the same make and colour as mine, but it's definitely older. The colour has faded slightly. Look, here's the label. Carl Rasmussen, Stockholm. Blast! I must have picked up the wrong one when we all got off the minibus from the bungalows in Koh Lanta to get the boat to Koh Phi Phi.
Well, Gary, it seems likely your backpack is on its way to Sweden by now.
Oh no, what am I going to do? What am I going to wear? All my favourite summer clothes gone. The Paul Smith summer collection, shirts, jeans.
Never mind. Open your new backpack. There might be a Swedish collection in there. Bjorn Borg socks.
This is not a laughing matter, you know.
Three. Listen to an announcement of a ferry departure at a port. What is its main purpose? A. To warn about the weather conditions. B. To announce that the boat is late. C. To inform passengers the boat is leaving.
This is the final call for all passengers of the high-speed ferry Pegasus travelling to Cherbourg this evening. All remaining passengers are requested to report immediately to Immigration Control and Customs for embarkation. Normandy Ferries would like to apologise for the late departure of the Pegasus. This is due to the late arrival of the vessel from France. Normandy Ferries are pleased to report that weather conditions have now improved and the normal sailing time to Cherbourg is expected.
4. You hear two friends talking on the phone. What does Alex do? A. He gives Bill some advice. B. He discourages Bill. C. He apologises to Bill.
Hello?
Hi, Alex. It's Bill. I'm a fool. A prize fool. You'll never believe what I've gone and done. I've been in London 3 days, and I'm due in Moscow for a very important business meeting tomorrow. My flight leaves at 10 o'clock tonight, and I can't find my passport. I phoned immigration at the airport, and there's no way they are going to let me on the plane without a passport. It's going to take at least a week to get a replacement. What am I going to do?
I'm sorry to say this, Bill, but you're so unreliable. Anyway, stay calm and try to think logically. Your passport must be somewhere. Have you checked your suitcases? Well, now retrace your steps over the last 3 days. Note down all the places you visited, then look up their phone numbers. I'll phone the local police station and bus garage in case it has been handed in, and you can...
5. You overhear a conversation at an airport check-in desk. How does the man respond to the customer? A. In a friendly and unprofessional manner. B. In a polite and professional manner. C. In an unhelpful and unsympathetic manner.
What do you mean, young man? Explain yourself. I can't take this bag on the plane as hand luggage? Let me tell you, I have been taking this bag, or at least a bag of a similar size, on the flight to Edinburgh for over 30 years. Before you were born, I should think.
I'm terribly sorry, sir. I would like to help you, but these are the new security regulations that were introduced by the airline last week. The bag is more than twice the permitted size. Here is a leaflet which explains everything. I will be more than happy to check in the bag.
You expect me to hang around at baggage reclaim in Edinburgh for hours, and knowing this airline's reputation for losing luggage? No, I just won't accept it. Get me the manager.
Of course, sir, certainly. Now if you would just stand aside, I'll...
6. Listen to two friends talking on their first night in London. Which of the following do both boys like? A. English food. B. The place they are staying at. C. The McLean family.
Are you asleep yet, Sammy?
Not yet, but I'm tired. It's been such an exciting day. Let's try and get some sleep. We have an early start at the language school. The first lesson is at 9, and breakfast here is at 8.
I wonder what an English breakfast will be like. Better than an English dinner, I hope. All that boiled food. Boiled potatoes, boiled cabbage, boiled meat. I found it all really tasteless. Still, I didn't see any fast food shops near here. And aren't the houses here so small? And they all look the same. And our bedroom is tiny. My bedroom at home is 4 or 5 times bigger.
We're in London, and this is a typical traditional terraced house. I rather like it. It's quaint, and they are a really friendly host family, Mr. and Mrs. McLean and their son Trevor. Thank goodness Trevor came to the airport to meet us, or we would never have found our way on public transport.
He seems to be a nice guy. I expected him to be colder and more distant, but he's really friendly. And so are his parents.
7. You overhear this conversation. Where have the two men met before? A. In a hospital. B. On a glacier. C. In a park.
Hello, Mr. Spencer. How are you?
Much better, thank you.
How is your leg?
It's much better, and I have started running in the local park.
Be careful. You must build up your strength. I know you're a famous climber, but when you slipped down that Austrian glacier and they brought you to our hospital, you were not in a very healthy condition at all.
Task 1. A. Listen to 3 people talking about their health and diet and complete the profiles below. Speaker 1.
Hi, my name is Tom, and I'm 22 years old. I recently graduated and started working full-time, so I don't really have a lot of time for exercise. I do like to stay in shape, though, which means I'm quite careful about what I eat. I love salads and fresh vegetables, and I don't really eat a lot of meat. Unfortunately, I'm quite stressed a lot of the time because of my job, so I don't really sleep very well. Usually only 5 or 6 hours a night. I usually skip breakfast as I have to be at the office so early. I feel tired a lot of the time, and sometimes I get headaches. Sometimes when I'm in meetings, I find it hard to concentrate and almost fall asleep. I would like to feel more rested and have more energy. I don't need to lose weight or anything. I just wish I felt more awake.
Speaker 2.
I'm 19 years old and I'm a student. I'm a pretty active person. I usually ride my bike to campus every day. My flat is on the 7th floor, and I never take the lift, so that's a lot of stairs. The thing is, I seem to be putting on weight, and I don't really understand why. I don't eat junk food, and always have a nice healthy breakfast of cereal with a cup of green tea. For lunch, I usually have a sandwich, and in the evening, my favourite food is pasta or spicy rice. I would like to lose some weight, but I hope I don't have to change my diet too much, because I like what I eat. I enjoy most sports, from running to team activities. Basically anything that gets me outdoors is great for me.
Speaker 3.
I'm Jerry and I'm 20 years old. I'm a student, but I work part-time at a furniture company. I regularly exercise. Usually I go swimming at least 3 times a week, and I love the gym. I don't like team sports though, like football or basketball. I think I'm a fairly healthy person because I don't get sick a lot, but my problem is that I am a little bit weak, and at work I need to lift heavy furniture, so I would like to build up my muscles and become stronger. I have a big appetite and I love spicy food. One of my favourite dishes is spicy chicken and rice, but I like most dishes with fish a lot too. I don't really like eggs or dairy products, like cheese. When I eat them, I sometimes get a stomachache.
IELTS practice. Section 1. You will hear a man talking to an agent from an airline company about changing his flight details. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 8.
Good morning. You're through to Global Voyage Airways Customer Service Department. You're speaking with Andrew today. How may I be of assistance?
Hello. I'm calling with regards to a flight which I booked about a month ago with your airline. I'm afraid I need to change some of the flight details, if possible.
Certainly, sir. Do you have your booking reference number handy so that I can find your details on our database?
Yes. The booking reference is 5956.
That's actually the flight number. All of our booking reference numbers start with a letter followed by 5 digits. It should be located on the top right-hand corner of the confirmation email that you would have received when you initially made the booking with us.
I apologize. Let me just find it. Okay, it's B78748, I believe.
That's the one. Thank you. Mr. James Hardy?
Yes, that's correct.
Mr. Hardy, for security purposes, can you please confirm the first line of your home address?
Sure. It's 59 Adler, spelt Adler, Road.
Great. And your contact telephone number?
0118 496 0269.
Thank you. OK, so I have your journey details displayed on my computer screen now. I can see that you've booked a return flight with us travelling business class. The outward flight is as follows. Departing from London on the 4th of November at 8:15 in the morning, travelling to New York. The return flight is for the 10th of November, scheduled to depart at 15:47 in the afternoon. Now, which part of the journey is it that you would like to change, Mr. Hardy?
If at all possible, I'd like to change the return flight and extend my stay in New York by an extra day. Rather than leave on the 10th of November, I'd like to return on the 11th instead.
OK, that shouldn't be a problem. I'll just need to check flight availability for the day that you're interested in first. Unfortunately, it does seem that all flights on that route are fully booked on the date that you wish to travel. However, I can see here that there are quite a few seats still available on a flight leaving the following day, the 12th of November, although it departs very early, at 6:02 a.m.
Never mind. I'll go for it.
Great. In that case, I just need to ask you a few more questions to complete the booking. What type of seat would you prefer?
I think an aisle seat would be better.
OK. And which onboard meal would you like? Our airline offers 2 tasty options. Either a meat dish or, as an alternative, we also offer a vegetarian one.
I think I'll go for the second option.
Good choice. In terms of the baggage allowance, you are allowed 1 suitcase, which should not be over 22 kilograms and...
Sorry to interrupt. Would it be possible to add an extra bag to the return flight?
Certainly, I was just coming to that. OK, I've added that for you. We've almost completed the booking. We just have the payment section to complete now. I'm afraid there is a charge of £75 for amending your booking today. And with the extra baggage that you've added, it all comes to £105. I can see that your debit card details are already in the system from where you made the initial booking. Should I go ahead and charge the amount owed to the same card?
Yes, please.
OK. The payment went through successfully. Would you like me to send your ticket out via the post, or would you prefer an e-ticket?
I think that an e-ticket would be more convenient.
OK. That's all done.
Thank you very much. You've been most helpful.
Unit 3. You will hear part of a radio interview with Alan Stapleton, a legal expert who will talk about strange or stupid laws throughout the world. For questions 1 to 5, choose the best answer, A, B or C.
My guest today is Alan Stapleton, a legal expert who will tell us about strange laws that exist in many parts of the world. Welcome to the show, Alan.
Thank you.
Let's begin with some strange laws that exist all over the world which concern cars, drivers, bicycles and roads in general. What can you tell us about them?
The list is endless. In Australia, for example, it is illegal to leave your car keys in an unattended vehicle.
Why is that?
Probably the police are concerned about the increasing number of car thefts, or even joyriders stealing cars and then driving around for fun, causing accidents. Moreover, in Canada, it is considered illegal to repair your car in the street. Perhaps the authorities are concerned about noise pollution, or the fact that expensive neighborhoods might start to resemble mechanical workshops or garages. They may also be concerned about safety issues in case someone gets injured. Talking about safety, in Mexico, bicycle riders may not leave either foot off the pedals as they may lose control and cause an accident. And in Connecticut, USA, you may be stopped for cycling faster than 100 kilometers per hour.
That sounds incredible. Is it possible that a person can cycle faster than 100 kilometers per hour for the law to apply?
Well, I really doubt it. Anyway, coming to Europe now. In Germany, it is illegal for your car to run out of petrol on the famous Autobahn or superfast motorways. I can understand their logic because any stationary cars could cause serious accidents and pile-ups. Similarly, I accept the fact that in the UK, lorries transporting cows or sheep may only be driven along the motorways between 10 a.m. and 7 p.m. with police permission, as at this time of the day there is less traffic, and it is considered to be safer to transport animals then. In Hawaii, California, Nevada and Florida, you may be booked for driving too slowly, as once again, these drivers may slow down the flow of traffic and cause accidents.
I read somewhere that it is illegal for a driver to be blindfolded while driving or operating a vehicle in the US. But who would drive a car while blindfolded?
Nobody. Still, remaining in the US, I am puzzled as to why a driver may not drive barefooted, though.
Sounds strange. What about animal laws? There must be some strange ones, I guess.
Certainly, especially in the US. In Louisiana, you may not tie an alligator to a fire hydrant, and if you live in North Carolina, you can't use elephants to plow cotton fields. In Oklahoma, it is illegal to transport a bowl of fish on a public bus, or to transport the hind legs of farm animals in the boot of one's car. Even making funny faces at animals is considered worthy of a fine. It seems that the animal rights lobbyists have fought hard for the protection of animal rights there.
Yes, but maybe that's a bit extreme. Anyway, what about some strange laws concerning food? I think there were some really funny ones in the past, right?
In the UK, during the reign of Edward VI, anyone who was caught breaking a hard-boiled egg at the short end was sent to the stocks. That sounds extreme, and thankfully that law doesn't exist anymore. However, in the US even today, you may not have an ice cream cone in your back pocket during business hours. I think this is obviously due to health and safety reasons. In Singapore, you may be fined $600 for dropping or deliberately throwing chewing gum onto pavements.
That is quite a severe penalty. However, I bet their streets are much cleaner than ours.
I agree. Just imagine how clean our streets and pavements would be if this strange law were to be enforced everywhere.
Well, that's all very interesting. But before we continue, I would just like to ask you.
Unit 4. You are going to hear a radio program about a motorcycle rally. You will hear the program in several parts. After each part, you will hear some questions. For each question, choose the correct answer. First, listen to the introduction and note the example question below.
Hello everyone, I'm Larry Q and thanks for tuning in to Radio Ride, the ideal program to listen to while you're on the road. Today I have the pleasure of being at the 68th Annual Sturgis Motorcycle Rally in Sturgis, South Dakota.
Example. How often does the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally take place? The correct answer is A. Every year.
It's a hot, sunny day and there are thousands of motorcycle fanatics enjoying the festivities here. I'm here with Dave, a Sturgis native who has been attending this rally for over 50 years. Dave, tell us a bit about the rally.
Hey, Larry. Welcome to Sturgis. Well, the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally actually began with a small motorcycle race 68 years ago. Now it is a huge event that draws over 500,000 people to our small town for an entire week in August. Motorcycle fans from all over the country come for the breathtaking rides through the beautiful Black Hills of South Dakota. But there are also other events like bike shows and races that keep the guests occupied. I bought my first motorcycle at the 1950 rally and have been coming ever since. And as long as I'm able to ride, I will keep coming, that's for sure.
1. Where is Dave from? 2. Where do people attending the motorcycle rally come from? 3. How long has Dave been coming to the rally?
'Well, it definitely seems like an exciting place to be, especially if you like motorcycles. The rally lasts an entire week. What kind of events take place during the week? And also, where do all these visitors stay?
Well, every day there are organized rides around the Sturgis area. Groups of riders head out to the Black Hills, like I mentioned before, and also into the Badlands National Park. These are day rides which usually begin at around 9 a.m. and end around 6 or 7 p.m. Also, there are stunt shows with professional riders, racers, motorcycle exhibits showing the latest and newest models, and customized motorcycle stands. But don't worry, there are plenty of photo exhibitions that even the non-riders can attend. As for where to stay, most riders choose to camp. City Park used to be open to visitors, and that's where most people chose to camp in the early days. However, when they decided to close City Park, campgrounds started springing up in around Sturgis. Now there are enough to accommodate hundreds of thousands of visitors. However, there are also plenty of motels in the area for those that prefer a more comfortable place.
4. How long does the rally last? 5. How often are rides organized during the rally? 6. What events take place during the rally that may interest non-riders? 7. Where do most riders stay?
'Well, thanks, Dave. You really are a rally expert. Now I'm moving on to what seems to be a pretty popular stand here at the rally, Bob's Custom Bikes. Hello, Bob. I'm Larry, and you're live on Radio Ride. Tell us a bit about yourself and your stand here at the Sturgis Rally.
Hello, Larry. Well, I first attended the Sturgis Rally as a motorcycle rider about 5 years ago. I fell in love with the rides through the Black Hills, and even raced in a couple of races. But my true passion was for customizing bikes, beginning with my own. I practically took my first motorcycle apart and added new parts and painted it, turning it into what I consider a work of art. Then, I decided to open up a shop and do what I love doing for other people. Now, I come every year to the Sturgis Rally to show off and sell my work. You'd be amazed at how popular it has become to customize your bike. Adding something special to your bike makes it stand out. It could just be painting a design on the body, or completely making it over by changing the handlebars, the wheels, the seat, etc. These bikes that I have here on display are all bikes I have designed and customized myself. About 10 of them are mine. I don't ride all of them though. Some I just feel are beautiful to look at. The rest of the bikes, the ones with the red stickers on them, are bikes that I have customized and are for sale.
8. What did Bob do when he first attended the rally? Nine. How many races has Bob taken part in? Ten. What did Bob do to his first motorcycle? 11. Which bikes at Bob's stand are for sale?
Wow, you are a true artist, Bob. Best of luck to you. Now I would like to hear from some other riders. I see a man on a bike getting ready to start his engine. Hello, you're live on Radio Ride. Can you tell me a bit about yourself and why you come to the Sturgis Rally?
Well, of course. My name is Tom Jones and I've been coming to the Sturgis Rally for about 40 years now. I first came with a friend of mine and completely fell in love with the area and the rally itself. One ride through the Black Hills was all I needed to see why so many riders come to Sturgis. I knew I had to come again, but with my own motorcycle. So I bought my first motorcycle and came the following year with 2 of my friends.
12. Who is Tom Jones? "13. When did Tom first attend the rally with his own motorcycle?
Tom, what attracts you and your friends to the rally?
Well, there are a lot of people like me who love riding motorcycles, and the Sturgis Rally is one of the biggest events. There's so much to do here. I've entered a few races and even came in 4th place a couple of years ago. I come every year with a group of my friends who all ride motorcycles. We call ourselves the Joy Riders. We ride every day and return and enjoy the festivities. I don't race anymore, but a couple of guys in our group do, and one of them, Sam Parker, actually performs motorcycle stunts here at the Sturgis Rally every year.
14. Who still takes part in races? "15. What does Sam Parker do at the rally?
I've heard that most of the people attending the rally stay at campsites. Since you have been coming here for so many years, you should have some good advice about where the best place to stay is.
Well, yeah, there's so many different kinds of lodging available. Hotels, cabins, campsites, you name it. The first couple of times I came, I stayed at one of the motels, which wasn't bad because you have all your comforts. But the truth is that it's much more fun at a campsite. So much is happening around you, and you get to meet so many interesting people from all over the country. The campsite we stay at is only a few minutes from the Sturgis main street. There's a mechanic on site, a laundromat where you can wash your clothes, and most important of all, lots of shade. You know, South Dakota can get pretty hot and dry in the summer.
16. Where did Tom stay the first time he went to the rally? "17. According to Tom, what is the main reason he likes the place he stays at?
Thanks for talking to us, Tom, and good luck to all the joyriders. Now, I've also heard that here at Sturgis, you can join the mayor of Sturgis in the mayor's ride and even leave your own personalized message on a street of bricks on Main Street. Here to tell us a bit more is John Moser, a Sturgis native who works at the information booth here at the rally. Hello, John. Can you tell us a bit more about these two events?
Hello, Larry. Well, there are a few things that make the Sturgis Rally unique. First of all, what you said is true. You can actually join the mayor of Sturgis on a ride to Mount Rushmore and Custer State Park, which are both south of the town. This will be the 6th annual mayor's ride. Participants must first register and pay a fee of $160, and only 250 riders will be allowed to enter. For 5 years now, these rides have been full, and there have been complaints about limiting the number of riders, so we are thinking of expanding the number in the future. The good thing is that all the profits from this ride go to the Sturgis Fire Department. Visitors to the rally can also commemorate their visit in stone by purchasing a brick on Main Street. You can simply choose to write your name and the date or a simple message, but it's a great way of preserving your participation here at the rally for future generations. Each brick costs $75. Here, let me give you one. You don't have to pay, it's a gift from me.
Thank you, John, and thanks for talking to us too.
18. How much does it cost to take part in the mayor's ride? "19. Where does the money from the mayor's ride go? "20. What is true about the commemorative bricks?